Today marks the official start of the Atlantic hurricane season, and experts predict it will be a busy one. NOAA's forecast for the season includes the highest number of anticipated storms ever issued, up to 25 of them, with as many as 7 possibly becoming major hurricanes. This morning, we're taking a look at how architecture is changing to respond to the dangers posed by these storms. Here's Manuel Bojorquez.
Hurricane Ian pummeled southwest Florida in September 2022.
The wind just howling through there.
A Category 4 storm that killed 156 people and left behind $112 billion in damage. It was the first real test for Fort Myers' Luminary Hotel, which had gone up 2 years earlier, somehow only losing the U in its sign during the storm. For those who built it, it's less somehow than know-how.
The building's purposely straightforward so that there's no complicated geometries, no alcoves, no recesses. All those places are opportunities for wind forces to build and create additional stresses on the building. The ground floor of the building is several feet higher.
Architect Jonathan Ray was part of the team. We walked along streets that were flooded with storm surge during Ian, but the hotel's first floor is 9 feet above ground level, which prevented flooding inside. Backup generators are 15 feet high on a raised platform, which kept the hotel running. One easy-to-miss detail, a slight bend in the structure, which engineer Amir Agajani says adds strength, as he demonstrated with a piece of paper.
It can't stand on its side. It can't stand upright, for that matter. Right? If you put a simple bend in it, we're not adding any material, and all of a sudden, with that simple bend, it stays up.
Since no building can be hurricane-proof, hurricane resilience is the goal.
I think a lot of people will think this is all great, but it must be costly to build like this.
Yes, good point. I like to think of it as invest now or pay later, because what you're doing now is you're creating value.
And the glaciers are melting.
Peering even further into the future, students at Florida International University's Architecture School are looking at another problem: sea level rise, expected to flood much of South Florida by the year 2100.
It's just a matter of time.
It's a matter of time, and it can go quick.
Which is why Professor Thomas Spiegelhalter's students are using AI to plan cities of the future, raised over water, with structures that mimic shapes found in nature that can withstand hurricanes too.
We have to be open and understand that being truly efficient and designing optimized, self-sufficient, resilient structures means we need to learn from nature.
Postdoctoral candidate Sarah Pezish is using 3D printing to develop what she calls biotiles to reduce coastal erosion.
This is the idea was not just creating a wall or a barrier, but also like a landscape that does multiple things. Reduce erosion, hopefully filter the water, and then integrate with nature.
A look into a future where climate change and hurricanes continue to reshape the landscape. For CBS Saturday Morning, Manuel Bojorquez, Miami.
Brilliant use of technology. Absolutely. And I say this a lot on our show. I'm so glad there are really smart people out there and creative.
Some of those images at the end look like they were from Avatar, too. It was beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
And it's interesting, they say there's no such thing as hurricane-proof,
right,
but there is very, very hurricane-resistant.
Yeah, right. No. Pay for it now, and you don't have the huge cost of trying to rebuild later.